Ever wondered what our world would be like if a major historical event never happened? Let's take a journey back in time, not to what was, but to what could have been. Imagine a world where one of the most advanced ancient civilizations, the Maya, never collapsed. What if their sprawling cities continued to thrive, their astronomical knowledge kept advancing, and their influence spread across the Americas and beyond? Today, we're diving deep into an alternate history. Forget what you learned in textbooks for a moment. We're going to explore how the survival of the Mayan civilization could have completely reshaped our planet. How would the last 1,000 years of history have played out differently? Would the Americas have been discovered at all, or would they have been an equal player on the world stage from the start? The political map we know today would be unrecognizable. Instead of a collection of nations born from European colonies, we might see a powerful Mayan Empire or a federation of city-states stretching from modern-day Mexico down through Central America. When European explorers arrived in the late 15th century, they wouldn't have encountered scattered tribes. They would have faced a unified, sophisticated, and militarily capable civilization. Think about that first contact. Instead of conquest, it might have been a negotiation. The Mayans, with their complex political structures and large armies, could have repelled early European incursions. This could have led to a world with multiple superpowers, not just a dominant Europe. Imagine Mayan ambassadors in the courts of Spain and England, forging trade deals and alliances. The balance of global power would have been entirely different. Instead of a new world to be exploited, the Americas would have been an old world in its own right, with its own sphere of influence. This could have prevented centuries of colonization and the immense suffering that came with it. The political landscape of the Americas would be indigenous, with governance systems based on Mayan principles, not European ones. Perhaps democracy, as we know it, would be different, influenced by Mayan concepts of rule and societal organization. This could have led to a more multipolar world much earlier in history, fostering a different kind of global politics based on mutual respect rather than domination. The technological and scientific landscape of our world would be profoundly different. The Mayans were brilliant astronomers and mathematicians. They developed the concept of zero independently and had incredibly accurate calendars. If their civilization hadn't collapsed, who knows what they could have achieved? Their astronomical observatories, like the one at Chichen Itza, were already incredibly advanced. With another 1,000 years of uninterrupted development, they might have pioneered new forms of mathematics and physics. Imagine Mayan scholars mapping the stars with telescopes they developed themselves centuries before Galileo. Their deep understanding of celestial cycles could have led to breakthroughs in navigation and timekeeping that would have rivaled or even surpassed those in Europe. Maybe the Industrial Revolution wouldn't have been a purely European phenomenon. The Mayans were skilled engineers, building massive pyramids and cities without metal tools or the wheel. What innovations would they have created if they had continued to advance? Perhaps they would have developed unique forms of engineering, agriculture, and medicine. Their medical knowledge, based on a rich understanding of botany, could have evolved into a sophisticated system of pharmacology. We might have cures for diseases today derived from ancient Mayan remedies that were lost to history. The exchange of knowledge between the Mayan Empire and the rest of the world would have been a two-way street. Instead of a one-sided transfer from Europe to the Americas, it would have been a true global collaboration, accelerating scientific progress for all of humanity. Culturally, the world would be a much richer, more diverse place. The Mayan language, art, and philosophy would not be relics of the past studied by archaeologists. They would be living, breathing parts of our modern global culture. Imagine Mayan literature being taught alongside Shakespeare, or Mayan philosophical concepts being debated in universities worldwide. Their unique worldview, deeply connected to nature and the cosmos, could offer powerful perspectives on modern issues like environmentalism and our place in the universe. For the people living in this alternate timeline, daily life would be shaped by this enduring heritage. In the Americas, Mayan languages might be spoken as widely as English or Spanish are today. The architecture of our cities could blend modern designs with the iconic styles of Mayan pyramids and temples. Our diets might feature a wider variety of foods, cultivated and perfected by Mayan agriculturalists over centuries. The very concept of identity in the Americas would be different. Instead of grappling with a post-colonial identity, People might have a continuous, unbroken connection to their indigenous roots, stretching back thousands of years. This would have profound implications for human rights and social justice. The historical injustices and systemic inequalities that stem from colonialism might never have occurred. Instead, we could have a society built on a foundation of indigenous culture and values, fostering a stronger sense of community and connection to the land. The long-term consequences for our planet would be enormous. The survival of a powerful, environmentally conscious Mayan civilization could have drastically altered our relationship with the natural world. Mayan religion and culture were deeply intertwined with the cycles of nature. Their cities were designed to coexist with the jungle, not conquer it. This philosophy could have tempered the resource-hungry industrialization that has led to our current climate crisis. A world with a major, non-European power would likely have a more balanced and equitable global economy. The centuries of wealth extraction from the Americas that fueled Europe's rise would not have happened. This could have led to a more distributed global prosperity. International relations might be less confrontational, shaped by a history that includes powerful, non-Western diplomatic traditions. We might have different international institutions, different global languages, and a completely different understanding of what it means to be modern. The very narrative of human progress would be rewritten, not as a linear path starting in the West, but as a multi-threaded story with major contributions from all corners of the globe. So, what does this all mean? If the Mayan civilization had never collapsed, our world would be almost unrecognizable. We might live in a more politically balanced, technologically diverse, and culturally rich society. It's a powerful reminder of how a single turning point in history can change everything. The echoes of what was lost can still be heard, but imagining what could have been helps us appreciate the complexity of our own past and the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. This alternate history isn't just a fantasy. It's a thought experiment that challenges our assumptions about progress, power, and civilization itself. What other what-ifs in history make you wonder about the world we live in today? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into an alternate past. If you enjoyed this exploration, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. And I really want to know your thoughts. What do you think would be the biggest difference if the Maya had never collapsed? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.